This is an FOU Studios podcast.
You're tuned in to Avon Public Radio, 88.1 FM, 540 on your AM dial. Many Things Pondered is up next, but now, From the Vault. Remember, From the Vault is brought to you in part by your generous contribution.
Welcome back to From the Vault with John Harper III. I'm John Harper III, and tonight we have a special evening planned. Let's take a break from our current running of Modern Shakespeare Radio, so climb aboard my handsome cab of heightened verse for the incredible interview with the opalescent, as always, Miss Genevieve DeBeres. Hello, Miss DeBeres.
Oh, hello. It is so kind of you to ask me here tonight. Thank you.
Oh, no, it is our intense pleasure to welcome you to our humble studios.
Humble. Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh, thank you very much. You are a rarefied example of what every stage and radio actress dreamed of being at the time.
Well.
Can you tell us a little bit about your splendid process, especially when it comes to such a emotional and gut-wrenching scene as the madness scene?
Well, as any actor who's ever had the grand opportunity to work on such a piece would tell you that splendid is incredibly misguided of a term. You see, my process involved years and years of deep investigational work on myself and the world around me.
Let's listen to some of the world around you right now. We have a clip here from your madness scene in Hamlet.
Oh.
Let's give it a quick listen.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark? Nay, pray you, mark. He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, and his heels a stone. Pray you, mark. White his shroud of mountain snow, larded with sweet flowers, which bewept to the grave did go, with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Law, without an oath, I'll make an end on't. Young men will do't if they come to't. By cock they are to blame. Quoth she before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I ha' done by yonder sun, and thou hadst not come to my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient, but I cannot choose but weep to think they should lay him i' the cold ground. My brother shall know of it, and so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach, good night. Ladies, good night. Sweet ladies, good night. Good night.
Such power.
That was such a fun time in my life.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like doing it live on broadcast radio?
Well, young man, John, back in my
Thank you.
day, there was no option to not do it live.
Oh.
We didn't have a retake and to do it over and over and over. We did it once, Perfectly. In my day, if you were an actor, you were an actor. You didn't need to pretend to drown another actor in order to know how to drown someone.
Are you perchance referring to the infamous incident between you and Mrs. Eleanor DeLauder?
Oh, I am not permitted to say such things, the lawyer and all that.
You forged quite a career on the stage.
Yes, I suppose you could say I did.
I was wondering if you could tell us from your youth growing up in Appalachia, looking towards the shining star of Eleanor DeLauder, what was it like to finally work with the grand Miss DeLauder?
Well, a word I am too old and too pious to say, was fantastic to work with in my time, except for I held a preconceived notion that I sadly could never quite get over.
Which
the
one?
notion was that I strongly disliked her.
Is this again because of the drowning?
Oh, we do not speak of such things, my lawyer and all that.
Maybe we could just take a quick listen to Miss Eleanor DeLauder as Gertrude in the post-drowning scene.
Oh, must we?
How now, sweet queen?
There is a willow grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come of crow flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that liberal shepherds give a grosser name. There on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide, and, mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then, she is drowned.
Drowned.
Wow, what a intense reaction she seemed to be having there.
Intense is a word for it, John.
Oh. Speaking of other actors on the set, we couldn't help but notice there was one force, one presence, who was so unmissable on these recordings, was the actor who played Horatio. He had such a large voice and commanding presence in every scene.
Oh, yes. Oh, he was such a dear young man. You know, I just loved him and his big brown eyes and his soft, silky hair. Oh, he was just a treat to work with.
That's such a delight. We were hoping you could illuminate us a bit. We don't know his name.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, he worked on all of the big ones. I mean, just about anything that was on the radio that was Shakespeare, he was in. And he was so good. He had so much power behind his speech. And, oh, those cute little dimples. And, oh, yes, that was him.
And his name?
What, you mean Horatio?
Was his character correct? Do you know the actor's name?
Oh, of course I know the actor's name. Oh, he was such a dear thing. It was, I never was quite acquainted with him in the way that I would have needed to be to know his name. Our communication was much more visceral.
Excuse me, Mrs. DeBeres, are you insinuating you had some sort of intimate relationship?
With a man whose name I don't know?
Yes.
It is entirely possible.
Wow. Well, listeners, this has been a incredible treat. Please join us once more later this evening as we take a train of Trondies all the way to Shakespeare Station. I'm John Harper III. Good night.
Thank you so much for listening to our show. If you liked Old Timey Shakespeare, please help us out by becoming a contributor on our Patreon. We have bonus content as well as other rewards for our contributors at patreon.com/oldtimeyshakespeare. This week's guest artists were Abby Immer as Genevieve DeBeres and Ophelia, and Molly Thomas playing Eleanor DeLauder and Gertrude. Old Timey Shakespeare was recorded live at the Face Off Unlimited headquarters in Astoria, Queens. The original text was written and the Shakespearean text was adapted by Johnny Wall. It was directed by Jay Painter and Peter Hargarden. It was also edited by Peter Hargarden. Executive producers are Joe Tex, Jay Painter, and Eric Robinson. FOU Studios is a property of Face Off Unlimited, LLC. I'm Peter Hargarden, the senior producer of podcasts here, and on behalf of everyone who worked on the show, we'd like to thank you, the listener, for tuning in. Subscribe to catch all our other podcasts here on the FOU Studios Podcast Network. To learn more about FOU, connect with us via social media at FOU Studios and visit us at FOUstudios.com. Boom!